I'm Kev.
And I'm Steve.
And we're from the internet.
Want an extra episode of We're From The Internet every week? Head over to we'refromtheinternet.com/bonus to get an exclusive weekly bonus episode 100% free.
Favorite Game of Thrones character, if you watch it.
Watch what?
Game of Thrones.
That's that television show that I'm behind the world on constantly.
It's weird at the moment being kind of both ahead and behind on that, because that's about it's started to take over where I am on it in the books, and also for some people, and then behind on others. It's really bizarre. I'm in a weird situation where I feel like I should close my eyes and cover my ears whenever certain characters come on the screen, because it's ahead of where they should be.
Surely it doesn't matter which medium you find out through, does it? If you'd rather find out through the book, stop watching the telly now. That's the obvious solution to that conundrum.
No, it is. The weird thing is, though, people are in completely different places to where they were when they stopped in the books. They've sort of skipped what happened in the last book and gone on to what I assume happens in the next book or the book after or something. It's really odd. It's just a very...
I'm 4 episodes into the most recent season, and without giving any spoilers out, I did see the internet have a meltdown at how that episode ended, because apparently that was its first big swerve away from the books, and internet book folk got all hissy about it.
Yeah, only because it's such a weird turn. It's kind of like, what should be a really cool story has just suddenly gone and done something else. I'm sure it'll be equally cool, but it's kind of left out a sizable amount of decent stuff. And it's like they almost taunted us that they've changed it, because the bloke who writes it released a chapter about a character. He released a chapter about Sansa from the books, like from the new book. And in that, she's still at the place she's already left. And it's like, she's sort of replaced a character that isn't in the show in where she's gone now. And it's all very weird and complicated. It's like they've just...
I read they're having to hurry it all along a bit because the children are all getting too old.
See, I don't see why that matters, really. They already are quite old. It's probably more feasible that they age a bit to catch up with the fact that they're... older than that in the books. It's like, I don't know, it just makes sense, doesn't it? They're set over a few years, I think. Anyway, the question was character, wasn't it? I'm talking about a story. That's a hard one, really. Jon Snow.
Jon Snow, eh? See, I'm now getting towards the end of the second book, and my opinions on it are changing from just purely from the TV show. It was obviously Tyrion. He's just the best character on the TV by a mile. But that's probably got a lot to do with the fact that it's obviously clearly the most talented actor playing him, and he gets all the best lines, and just the stuff they're doing with him and Varys together. They should just have their own spin-off sitcom, just them two, because I would happily watch an hour
Private
of them
investigations.
Just those two together for an hour. That'll do me. It's gold. And having split them up so soon into their relationship of being together, that was just sad.
Well, yeah, but he's got quite a cool new double act that he might not have started where you are, but he has on the TV, which is all right. That's a nice little story.
But having read the books, some of the characters who I thought on the TV show were a bit meh. On the TV show, 4 or 5 seasons in, I've still not really seen the point of Arya on the TV.
Yeah, she's much better in the books.
She is.
She's
much better in the books.
She's my favourite character in the books, probably. Her, Bran, and...
Again, Bran on the TV, I don't see the point of him.
Her, Bran and Jon, whenever their chapters came up, I was always like, yes! And then on the show, as you say, it's been a bit nothingy. I think it's book 4. Most of those aren't in it, because it's instead of... What he kind of did was he wrote a book that was far too big, and he kind of had like 3 books in one, and instead of splitting it up, just chronologically, he kind of just said, right, I'm going to write only about what happens in this part of the world for an entire book, and it's all about Cersei and people like that. And then the next book's heavy on Jon, Arya, Bran, and all of that. And when I was told that in advance, I was like, no! And then when I read the book, I suddenly really, really liked like Cersei and Jaime, and I can't really say I have a favourite because they're all awesome in their own way. Like most of them, anyway. I think there's some who just wind you up, but I think the TV show. We're saying the books have made Arya and people like better, but is it Ramsay Bolton? He's much better in the show. Like he's mental in the books, but in the show, he's played by an amazing actor.
Yeah, again, it comes down to the actor playing him. When you've got someone who's an established good actor, they're fantastic characters on the TV show. It's the characters who've just had somebody plucked from being a bit of a random nobody.
Yeah.
The Littlefinger on the TV show, someone talk me through what's going on with his accent.
Yeah, it changes all the time, doesn't it?
I assume he's an Irish actor. But throughout season 1 and 2, he didn't have an Irish accent. And now he's got a really strong Irish accent. And I don't understand. I mean,
I don't like
that's
Littlefinger. He's probably my least favourite character, and there's people out there who love him.
I'm just frustrated by inconsistencies. Surely, the producers of the show just need to have a word with him and say,
You're doing it again?
Yeah. What is the deal with what's going on with your voice here, little fella?
I was in a restaurant yesterday, and I had to ask my colleague today whether he noticed the same thing. The woman serving us kept switching between a chavvy London accent, like, do you want a drink? Do you want to see a menu? To coming out and talking in a really thick Polish accent and being like, you have rice and you do whatever. And I said to him, I was like, is it me or did she just keep switching between the two throughout the entire night? Because we were in there for a couple of hours eating and drinking and that. I was mainly drinking Coke because I'm still dry. He did buy me a beer, which really annoyed me because I've been dry since I got a bit ill. And yeah, he bought me a beer. I was gutted, but I drank it.
This phenomenon that you speak of, working where I do in an inner city school that has a lot of people where English is not their first accent, that is a really common thing. And
yeah?
It's because it depends who they've learnt the word from.
Ah, okay, that does make sense, actually.
If it's language they've picked up on at home and with their family, they'll have it with that accent from wherever they've come from.
Yeah, so do you want rice bit where it was broken English all of a sudden?
Well, yeah, but if it's language they've picked up from hanging around with the other chavs, then...
it's very interesting, like, just noticing
That's how they say it.
But yeah, so maybe she learned her English off of Littlefinger.
Yeah, well,
maybe with an Irish twang, wouldn't it?
Yeah, maybe all his stuff in the first couple of seasons was just words he learnt when he was over in England.
House,
yeah, but now he's out and about and being a bit of a lecherous old man. That takes him back to his Irish
when I go to
roots.
Essex, my accent comes out quite strongly.
So you're saying when he goes north?
Yeah.
Like, north is Ireland.
He's like, I'm back in the north.
Get my Irish accent on.
Don't know why I went more Essex then, but yeah. Who's your favourite character? Oh, you said Tyrion, did you?
Tyrion, clearly on the TV, but in the books, they're all brilliantly written characters. And I hate being one of those book, but because of the extra time you spend in the heads of the characters in the books, you actually start to understand some of the ridiculous stuff that goes on. I mean, the bit that I'm at in the book that I've just read last night was the bit where Joffrey bins off Sansa. And on TV, that just, it's all a big shock. Joffrey's bit. Whereas in the book, it's really clear she knew it was going to happen in advance and you know what's going on in her head and you understand her reaction a little bit more. And that wasn't portrayed well at all on TV.
No, she's kind of stuck though. I think she's stuck with the fact that they don't really know how to write her, so she's just playing this really wooden. Because I don't think she seems quite cool from what I've seen out of the behind us, off the show and that, and she seems like she's got a personality. Whereas they're giving her these really, really bland lines and trying to make her constantly walk around like she's got a. Well, I feel like she's got a tight corset and can't move, but she has.
Or she's just playing it really well.
Did you have the same problem? I suppose not from watching a TV show, but my dad for ages was calling Tyrion. I don't know if it was autocorrect, but it was Tyrone, Brian of Tarth, and people like that. And I was just like, Dad, they're Tyrion and Brienne, and he'd just be like constantly sending me the different names through autocorrect, which made me laugh for a while.
I think that's just old man problems.
So you didn't think it was Brian of Tarth?
Want to get every episode of We're From the Internet at least a day earlier than the iTunes and Stitcher folk? Head over to we'refromtheinternet.com/pledge to support us on Patreon, and as well as early access, we'll throw in an exclusive weekly show just for our patrons too.